what people find in this book is that they really are not so far from holiness themselves. I hope and I pray that at least one woman will speak to you and you will see that you're actually living that charism today, whether it's a charism as a mom or a charism as a convert or a charism as somebody who always has more people in her house and doesn't really care whether, she's hospitable to everybody, as was the case with Saint Genoveva del Torre Morales, Mexican saint, who during the Cruceros War took care of everybody and invited, when the soldiers came, she took care of them as well. These are all things we should be doing, we can do, and we are doing. And I think sometimes we sell ourselves short. We believe that we are hopelessly flawed and that saints are sometimes pretty images, pretty people who never had to deal with the things we deal with. And yet they did, and so do we. And there are also stories within the book of some folks I know who I think live that charism every single solitary day. When it comes to hospitality, I counterbalance that with a friend of mine who raised 5 kids. And there were always other kids living with them because their kids had friends who got kicked out of their houses or didn't have anywhere else to live. She honestly doesn't remember how many there were off and on, but I can tell you her children do. And the people who were her adopted children do. They come and see her now. She doesn't think it was any big deal. I don't know about you, but the idea of a bunch of stray teenagers whose parents don't care about them running around my house, that's not my charism. I think that's the other thing. There's saintliness all around us. That's the other thing I hope that women get out of this book, and men, that appreciate the people in your lives, learn from the people in your lives. I talk in the book about Maria Maravillas de Jesus, who was a discount Carmelite, and she was sure she was going to say a discount Carmelite. Didn't matter what happened. Spanish Civil War, who cares? Vatican II, who cares? I'm going to live this vocation the way Teresa of Avila lived it, right down to looking into the kind of investigating the kind of stockings that Teresa of Avila wore. The story I told about from the current day is a younger friend of mine who was sure she was going to be a mom, and she did all the right things, and her baby died in delivery because of a mistake by a doctor. And she was told that there was a very good chance she would never have a child. And a year later, she did. And 2 years later, she had another one. That kind of single-mindedness to purpose, I think we all have as well. And sometimes the world tells us not to. We know what our vocation is. Maybe it's to be a mom. Maybe it's to sit in the corner office. But that small, still voice inside of us tells us what that vocation is. And the world sometimes doesn't want us to do that. And that, that's the presence of evil, it's the presence of fear. I hope these women in the book will give you the strength to live your vocation as God intended it.